Hello everyone, this is the fourth and last lecture on metallurgy, and in this lecture we will discuss alloys. So first of all, the definition of alloys. It says that an alloy is a homogeneous or heterogeneous mixture of two or more metals, or it can be a homogeneous or heterogeneous mixture of one or more metals with a non-metallic substance. For example, generally we use carbon with some metals to form an alloy. Now you can see the examples of homogeneous alloys like brass, bronze, etc. While the examples of heterogeneous alloys are cementite, which consists of iron and Fe3C, then tin, lead, solder, or perlite. So you don't have to remember all these examples. Now the question is, how do we prepare an alloy? So an alloy is prepared by melting the components of the alloys, means whatever they are, whether they are metals or metals with some non-metals. So all of the components of alloys are melted and mixed properly, and when they are cooled we get a mixture of the metals, which is known as an alloy. Now the second question is, why do we form alloy? What is the purpose of making alloys? So there are many reasons because of which we form the alloys, like to improve the appearance and color of the substance, or to increase the hardness or tensile strength, or to increase the resistance to corrosion, or to increase the resistance to electricity. One reason is to lower the melting point, or to modify the casting ability, or to modify the chemical reactivity. So there are so many benefits of making an alloy. Now there is one more term, that is amalgams. The homogeneous solution of a metal in mercury is known as amalgam. So whenever we talk about amalgam, in an amalgam there will be a metal and then another metal will be mercury. So amalgam is also a mixture, a homogeneous solution in which an element is always mercury while the other element will be some other element. For example, sodium amalgam, which consists of sodium and mercury. Zinc amalgam consists of zinc and mercury, or gold amalgam consists of gold and mercury. Now we will see some alloys of different metals. The first is alloys of aluminium. So the first alloy of aluminium is magnesium. The composition of magnesium, it consists of 95% aluminium and 5% magnesium. It is very tough and strong, so therefore it is used for making machined articles and balances. One more alloy of aluminium is there which is used widely, that is duralumin. It consists of about 95% aluminium, 0.5% magnesium, 0.5% manganese, and about 4% copper. Now it is very light, strong and tough. So because of its lightweight and very high strength, it can be used for making the parts of aircrafts. Now the alloys of copper and zinc. The first is brass. Brass consists of about 80% of copper and 20% of zinc. It is highly malleable, ductile, it has high resistance against corrosion, it can be cast very easily, so therefore it is used for cooking utensils, in wires, in cartridge caps, parts of machineries, etc. The next alloy of copper and zinc is bronze. So it consists of about 80% copper, then 10% zinc, then 10% tin. You don't have to remember the percentage composition, but you have to remember the elements which are present in an alloy. So if you don't remember percentage composition, there is no problem, but you have to remember the components, that is the elements which are present in an alloy. So bronze is very hard and very easy to cast. So it was used earlier in coins. It is also used in statues, or utensils or in control valves, etc. Now the third is gunmetal. It consists of copper, tin, zinc and lead. You can see the percentage composition. It is very hard and brittle. It is used in bearings, gears, etc. It is also used in making the barrels of guns and cannon, etc. The next is German silver. It consists of copper, zinc and nickel. It is having a silver luster, that is why it is known as German silver. It has high electrical resistance. It is used for decorative articles and in electric heaters. The next is alloys of iron. So generally the alloys of iron, most of the alloys of iron are alloy steels. The first one is stainless steel, which consists of 73% iron, 18% chromium. It has very high resistance against corrosion. It is used in household utensils, ornamental pieces, shaving blades, etc. Now the next is manganese steel. It has iron, manganese and carbon. It is very hard, then it has high resistance against corrosion, and it also has a high resistance against acids and alkalis. So it is used in cutlery and surgical instruments. The next is tungsten steel. So tungsten steel consists of iron, tungsten and carbon, which is very hard and generally used for cutting tools. Next is nickel steel, which consists of about 63% iron, nickel and carbon. It is very hard and elastic. It is used in electric wire cable and automobile parts. The last is the alloys of lead. So we will be talking about two alloys of lead. One is solder, which is used widely. So it consists of about 50% lead and 50% tin. It has very low melting point, therefore it is used in soldering and electrical fuses. Next is type metal. So type metal consists of 70% lead, 20% antimony and 10% tin. It has very low melting point and it is very easy to cast. It is used for making type letters for printing. So the type metal is easy to cast. What does it mean? To understand it, first of all, we have to understand the meaning of casting. Casting is a process in which molten metal is poured in a mold so that it can acquire the shape of the mold when it is cooled and solidified. But when it is cooled, it also shrinks. So therefore, it cannot acquire the perfect shape of mold. But this problem does not take place with type metal. Therefore, we can say that type metal is very easy to cast. So the shrinking is minimum in the type metal. Therefore, type metal is easy to cast. So this is all in this lecture. If you have any queries, you can ask your questions in comment box. Thank you very much.